Hi, today we're going to talk a little bit about the Let It Grow activity badge for the squirrels. I'm going to run through these three different requirements here and how they can relate to other badges that exist within the squirrels, including the Chief Scout Acorn Award. So to start off, jumping straight in, there are a lot of different plants. You may even have seen prickly cacti, tall trees, etc. Um, Essentially, grow something is what it boils down to. It can be a flower or something else, or something to eat, and it really depends whatever you'd like to do that's realistic, essentially. The second of the requirements here is look after the plant personally, as a squirrel, basically. Give it water and sunlight. It's not difficult to do this, so hopefully this is something that they can do without parental interference too much. And obviously, as part of this, you can examine it and see what it feels or smells like, things like that. And finally, we have fruit and vegetables, especially with ones that are edible and not readily available in your community. And you can, as it says here, visit a local farm to see or ask about the plants. There's obviously a nice little trip out if you can do this part of the award. Moving on, I'm going to mention a little bit about how this can link into other different badges within Squirrels. Something that very easily comes to mind is the Explore Outdoors activity badge. If you decide to take some plants, like uproot various different plants from some outdoor source that's obviously, if they're wildflowers or whatever, as opposed to managed gardens, but you'd be able to, while you're doing the Explore Outdoors activity badge, perhaps take some of those samples of those different plants home with you to then grow in plant pots, etc., as part of this badge. And that'll be a very good way of getting around the um, sort of requirements of having to wait until it's fully grown to do this entire thing. You can just grow it over the course of a week or two potentially. Um, Moving on, the field guide activity badge, obviously doing this and sort of being able to tend to a plant is something that helps a lot of people with their mental health, especially things like touching green plants and things and getting out into nature a little bit. It can be very good for self-esteem and feeling good, as is the feel good activity badge. You could also link this into the Get Creative activity badge by asking your squirrels to uh, draw or paint or take photographs of the plant at different stages or in different lights and environments inside their house or outside their house, etc. If it's in a plant pot. So that'd be a very good way of getting some sort of still life kind of portraits and things from your squirrels with that Get Creative activity badge. Obviously, as I mentioned, if you do a kind of prerequisite to this badge where you go out into the environment and find some seeds or sort of saplings to take, that could be part of the Go Wild activity badge. And sort of going out into the world to do that Go Wild sort of expedition out there. Um, if there is some way you can link this to a festival from a different culture or something like that, then that'd be a very interesting way of running Let It Grow. Um, I'll leave that up to you really how that can manifest itself. If you know any particular cultural festivals that revolve around sort of plants and growth, that'd be certainly interesting. That would certainly attribute itself to the Let's Celebrate activity badge. Other than that, if you, for example, here it says an allotment or a local area, if you go ahead and plant um, your flowers or whatever there as a way to enrich the community, that can count towards the local superhero activity badge. And actually, if you run it to a sort of project level over a period of weeks, it may count towards the community impact stage activity badge, which is one of the hardest stage activity badges in all of Scouts to get, um, as it's to do with a persistent and dedicated sort of community service. So if you have some kind of managed garden that your group can maintain for the good of the community, that'd certainly be a good way of doing that. and contribute towards that very difficult to get badge. It'd certainly be a point of pride for your group and your squirrels to have that badge. There's not many others, even beavers and cubs actually have that community impact stage badge. Other than that, there's not really much else in terms of activity badges we can link into with Let It Grow. However, if you look at the Chief Scouts Acorn Award, obviously something like the All About Adventure Challenge Award, which contributes to that Acorn Award, um, does incorporate parts of sort of going outside and building things, and I'd say that letting things sort of grow and taking care of plants and seeds and things would count towards a outdoor activity, especially if your plant is kept outdoors rather than indoors. Other than that, the All Arounders Award, the Challenge Award All Arounders, is actually does have an aspect of sort of community service and taking care of the environment. So this would certainly potentially be counted towards that, although you may have to bend the rules a little bit as a leader to get that one to apply fully. Other than that, the Altogether Challenge Award could also be a thing if you have multiple squirrels taking care of one particular plant, perhaps in groups, or perhaps you just have one plant that everyone is taking turns taking care of. That may be a way of doing it too. So there's a few different ways of linking it into the Chief Scouts Acorn Award as well. I'm not particularly sure if there's anything with the All About Me Challenge Award you can really link into here. I would say if you consider gardening as a skill, which it is, if it's something they've never done before, then that would count as a new skill for the All About Me Challenge Award. Other than that, there's not much else to add. So hopefully this has been useful, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.